Hi, this is John from Idighightones. If you've been following my epic adventure to the UK, welcome to day 7. If this is your first video, well, you've got the right one. You're going to see a spectacular find in this video. Now, while we've made some great finds to this point, and in the subsequent 5 days, there's some really cool Saxon, Viking, and other artifacts to come. Day 7 was really the pinnacle. It was the day of my favorite find of the entire tour. This spectacular artifact was a heart stopper. The moment I saw it in the hole, I realized I had something very, very special. Nonetheless, I'm calling this the careful what you wish for treasure. Because while it's spectacular, it's not without its controversy. Well, controversy might be a little too strong, but sit back and join me for the next few minutes on this adventure, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
And it's day 7 here in England on our Great Metal Detecting Tour of 2024. So far, this field's been disappointing, just shotgun shells, nothing. It's extremely old. Field itself is stubble. It's also been manured in the middle, so it kind of has that rustic farm smell.
Stubble, manure. I also found the Siemens mobile phone from 1989. The day was not going so well. I was complaining. I was asking the tour director to move us to another field. That was the fatal flaw. Watch.
It's a beautiful day, but we're not finding many targets here, so we're hoping we can discuss with the tour director or move to another field that'll be more productive. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do to keep my hammered streak going, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll go to another field. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I was complaining about the field to the tour director. He went off in the car to find another field to take us to. Nobody was finding much of anything, although a couple hammereds did come up just recently about 50, 75 feet away from where I am. I came over signal, and you can see that there were a lot of holes dug behind me here.
I just want to pause here for a quick teachable moment. Before I started to swing over this area, at least one half of the 14 people on our tour, and it's probably more like 10 of the 14 people, hammered this area with XPs, with Manicores, with Mine Labs, you name it. You can see that there are holes dug and filled all around where I found this target. So it really doesn't matter how many times you've gone over a field. There's always the possibility of more.
And in this hole here, I pulled something that is absolutely spectacular. Let me show you. So it was down probably 6 or 7 inches, and this is what I pulled out. An absolutely gorgeous, complete silver brooch. Probably, it's definitely Middle Ages, probably 15th, 16th century. We'll have Steve confirm that. But based on the pin and the style of manufacture, it's definitely an oldie. And that is absolutely gorgeous. Probably is the find of the week for me. And one of the detectors here said it's treasure, and so it'll probably go through inquest. But what a fantastic find. Really beautiful. And that's what happens when you complain about a field.
So careful what you wish for, John, because while Steve's off talking to the farmer about getting us on another field, we're starting to pop medieval coins. I'm finding this spectacular brooch. And Steve comes back and he says, fellas, it's time to move on.
So after all my complaining about the other field, we moved off that field, probably about 15 or 20 minutes after I found the silver brooch, to a new field, which is pretty expansive. And we'll see what's here. My first dig here was a little ball. It's pierced, so I think it might be a loom weight or something like that. It's a lead ball, but it's something. not far from the van. So we'll see what else is around. And we're on field 2 and just dug a target down about 10 inches. And this looks like a William bronze coin. I just had a very loud 85. So I had to dig it. I turned over the spade, and here we have something. I don't know what it is. Well, perhaps that's not it. Let's see. Oh, yes, that's it. That's copper. Low here, but we just popped out a really nice signal, probably our best signal of the day, except for the silver brooch. And we've got a really nice big old greenie here. Not much detail coming through right now, but there's some on there. It'll clean up. It looks like Britannia is seated on the back.
And George II on the front, dating 1757. Not bad.
And deep down, about 12 inches, nice little.
Something, probably 18th, 19th century, but if you know, let me know.
Well, what a beautiful day out here. Had this signal.
It rang as clear as a bell on the XP Deus 2, down about 5 or 6 inches. It's a really nice Tudor period single loop buckle, which means it dates to the time period roughly of Shakespeare, King Henry VIII, Elizabeth I. A really nice buckle.
I'll show that super fine to you in just a minute, but let's hit the highlights first of day 7 and look at the board. So we've got a couple of Charles II farthings dating the mid to late 1600s. A beautiful Victorian halfpenny dated 1874. A George II halfpenny, 1757, pretty good shape, and a really cracking George I halfpenny dated 1718. You can see the date here at the bottom of the coin, 1718, Britannia seated, and on the reverse, or the obverse of the coin, I should say, a really nice portrait of young George I. Also got a Victorian gaming piece with portrait of the king there. I think that looks like George, possibly one of the Georges. We've got 15th century fancy buckle with some interesting decoration around the edges. A 15th to 16th century bronze buckle, a really tiny one. And let's have a look at the star find of the day. Well, here it is, a really spectacular silver ring brooch with the pin. It's complete. Just a remarkable piece, down about 8 inches. The pin's all there. Just turn it over. You can see the reverse side of it. Here's the reverse side. You can see there's maker's mark, which is NO or ON, depending on how you read it. Really spectacular piece, great signal, and dating to the 15th century. This will go through the treasure trove process here in Britain, and if it's not claimed by a museum, I hope to get it back, but it will take some time. This is the first day, day 7, that I did not get any hammered silver, but I'm really delighted to be able to get that silver brooch instead. Hey, it's been a remarkable week so far. Day 7 is in the books. We have 5 more days to go to get to 12, and keep watching to see what we find tomorrow. Take care.
This type of brooch with a circular design and a single pin can be traced way back to the Celtic and even earlier periods. But they were very, very fashionable In the medieval period, we're talking 13th, 14th century, and the post-medieval period, we're talking 15th, 16th century. They were usually made of bronze, sort of a copper alloy, but sometimes they were made of silver or gold, and sometimes they could be elaborately decorated, but mostly they were plain. Now, what were they used for? Well, they were used to secure the neck of undergarments. And typically, they were worn at the throat or the shoulder. You can be pretty sure that when someone lost a silver ring brooch, it wasn't a very happy day. Well, I hope you enjoyed day 7 and the story behind the careful what you wish for treasure. I'll have another video once we get through the treasure trove process, which could take many more months. The object is still in the UK, and once we have that all resolved, I'll give you an update. Until then, join me on the next episode where we find more artifacts in the UK. And good luck to you in your detecting. And as I always say, may all your tones be high tones. See you next time. Bye-bye.